he's going to lead us in the right path, and whatever happens is going to glorify him. So, everybody's got their own perception on things, but you just have to do, what's right in the Lord's eyes. So that's just how I live.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a nice way to live and to be so confident and everything. There's nothing wrong with that too. So anyway.
Well, here's a fun fact really quick. I never liked wine before transplant. And after transplant, I kind of took to wine. I don't drink much, and now Tina does not like wine. And pre-transplant, Tina loved wine. So I took her wine gene away from her.
She did. I guess there's power in the blood, but it's interesting that, sharing a life and sharing a part of yourself really does impact other people. And, I can see some characteristics of myself in Pete, which is kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I now wear high heels and carry a handbag.
That's right. And don't forget the red lipstick.
You now wear high heels and carry a handbag. That's really funny. Thanks so much for calling in, Tina. Please keep in touch. We'll talk about some more further on when we talk.
Sounds wonderful. Thanks again.
Have a nice
talk
day.
Soon. Bye,
Thank
Pete.
you.
You too.
Thank you, Pete. Love you.
Hey,
love you. Bye.
It's time for our break, okay? And we have some more stories coming up. This is just the beginning of Pete's journey here. But please stay tuned. We'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. I'm Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And my guest today is a music producer, remixer, mobile and club radio DJ for 37 years, and a 14-year veteran law enforcement officer in ESU, which most of you know as SWAT or rescue team. And what we were just talking about is in 2003, he had diabetes and didn't really take it seriously, and had kidney failure. And his in-laws kind of stepped up, and his wife's brother stepped up and was a match, but they couldn't use his because I guess with kidney stones, it's not a good fit. And so then his brother's wife then stood up and gave her his kidney. And that's just the beginning of his journey. And when I was saying about professionally surviving here, you'll see what I mean. And I want to welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Pete Othman.
Hello.
Okay. Hi. And, okay, so Pete, so you have the kidney transplant, and you got Tina's kidney, which now, in high heels and a handbag. So cute.
Then here it is.
And so then what happened?
Well, it went very, very well. And a couple of years went by. I was in great shape, phenomenal shape. And then my sugar started going south again. So the doctor started pumping me with insulin. And so around mid last year, I'd say about June or July of last year, I put on about 85 pounds in roughly about 4 or 5 months span. And
wow.
I didn't know why. and doctors didn't know why. And actually, one of my guys, a lot of my guys on my unit, they're very health conscious, and we have a couple of trainers and nutritionists. So my one guy's like, hey, listen, bro, how much insulin you want? He goes, I told him I was literally on 120 units a day of insulin on the low side. And he goes, Pete, you can run 10 marathons a day and not lose an ounce of fat if you don't have that much of insulin. So I was pretty much, it's kind of like insulin poisoning. I was so insulin dependent to keep my sugars right because I wanted to save my kidney and not have diabetes attack the kidney.
Right.
So I went up to 310 pounds, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't tie my shoes. So it got really frustrating and very unhealthy. So I told my doctor in about August, my kidney transplant doctor, because I go to him every 6 months, and just jokingly, he goes, well, so what? You're a fat guy, but if he kind of took it lightly. He was just happy that the kidney was working, but I was very unhappy with how I was feeling, especially being an operator in the unit, because we have to move around with heavy gear and respond to serious situations. So he goes, well, why don't you just go get a stomach staple? I said, what do you mean? He goes, go get the stomach surgery. It turned out, had some good results from it, and it was like a very lighthearted conversation
kind of thing.
Yeah, I got this. Like something like that, but the sleeve.
Okay.
So I started the process with the sleeve, and everybody was against it. Everybody was against it. Like, you could work out. I was working out every day.
Everybody, like your friends and family, you mean?
Everybody down the line. Not one person was supportive of it, and it was frustrating, to hear everybody's negative comments about it. And but I had to do what I had to do because I knew how I was feeling.
Right.
I couldn't tie my shoe without, I couldn't bend down. It was bad.
You couldn't reach your shoelaces?
I couldn't reach my pocket to get money out of my pocket. That's how heavy I got. And so fast.
That's what it's like to be pregnant.
I guess, because it was really bad. And so I went through the process, and I got the gastric sleeve, which is not a bypass. They give you a little bit of stomach. So during the operation, I came out of operation, and they were like, there was too many doctors involved at one point. I'm like, I just got a stomach staple. I should have been out in a day and a half. So I was there for 2 days, 3 days, and then my doctor comes in, and he's like, we're still waiting on the results of the mass we took out. And I said, what? And he looks at my wife, and she goes, you didn't tell him? And she shook her head. I said, no. And so he's like, so it kind of like right then and there, whatever medication I was on wore off, and all I felt was pain, and I just drew a blank. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, we found a mass while we went into to do the stomach. He said, and we sent it out to pathology, and so that's when they found the cancer.
Oh.
But it was if I didn't go with my instinct, they would have never found that.
Yeah, so you weren't doing the weight loss, then they would have never found the cancer. Wow. What kind of cancer?
Correct. It's called a GIST cancer. It's a very slow-going cancer, and he said I had it for over 2 years. So he found it at stage 2. And I'm very lucky for the type of cancer it was, because if it was something else, they would never have found it, and I would have just been gone.
Wow.
And it was I believe it's total intervention from whatever gods anybody believes in, no matter religion, faith, or beliefs. But something put me on that table that day, and it's hard not to think like think that way. And so with that, I was very public about it. I was very public about it. I spoke about it, and people were very supportive. And from that point on, I've really spoke about my journey publicly on Facebook and with my, it's funny because I'll speak on Facebook rather than to close friends. And it became like, people started sharing their stories with me, and they were like, thank you for sharing. That people were scared to talk. It's like it's a taboo to be sick. It's not a taboo. Everybody's sick, and if you don't talk about it, you hide it inside. It kind of eats you worse. So I think to be positive with anything you have. Gives you a better state of mind, and you could accomplish anything, no matter what sickness you have. And so that's how I live my life now. Whenever I go through anything, I try and shed light on it, because whoever's going through it and doesn't talk about it, they know they're not alone.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So it took about 6 months to get full results. 6 months to get full results in June after all the treatment and everything, they did the last PET scan, and it was gone. I was clear.
So what kind of treatments did you have to go through?
Just a lot of biopsies, a lot of preventative medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Because they for some reason they couldn't tell me if it was still there or not, and so the final PET scan was, they said, okay, it was gone.
So they removed it all in the surgery when they went in for the sleeve.
They removed it all in the surgery. It went to 3 different boards to see what kind of treatment they wanted to do, because I had a kidney transplant, so they couldn't really go aggressive on it.
All right.
And it was very complicated to treat and still keep the kidney intact. So come June, the doctor's like, we're good. I was like, wow, it was very surreal. And then being on Facebook, a lot of people, you see the sad posts and they talk about it, and I'm saying to myself, what is going on here? Like, how did I dodge 2 bullets and still being functional? And like,
aren't you part of a SWAT team too?
I am.
Then you dodged those 2 bullets, but
it's crazy because I've been it's two very serious incidents, and I'm here to talk about it, and I see other people still going through it before that I had it, and they're still dealing with it, and I looked into it, and it's like a survivor's guilt, and a lot of people saying you shouldn't feel that way, you should feel happy. It's easy to say, but when you see somebody that's still going through it, and it's tough. It's really, really tough to stand tall and smile, knowing that other people are not as fortunate.
Mm-hmm. I can totally relate. And, I went in and I had a lump on my breast like 2 years ago. It took me forever to get it tested because I was scared. But I went through the mammogram and the ultrasound and everything, and thank God it was a swollen sweat gland or something. It was just a cyst, and it wasn't what I was worried about. But when they're telling me, I'm sitting in there in oncology, and they're saying, well, congratulations, you're cancer-free. And all these people are sitting there getting chemo and that, weren't as lucky. And it's a really bad feeling. I mean, you feel grateful, but at the same time that being around a lot of people that aren't as fortunate, it's a weird feeling.
It is, and it actually started after kidney transplant, because my doctor was my initial doctor was a dialysis center doctor, and sometimes his office hours were in the dialysis center. And walking in and out of there, and the people looking at me, they knew, it's just that's a hard walk.
Was there any dialysis, and they know that you had the transplant?
Yes, and they're just not, they're not as fortunate to have had a donor, or their bodies were not ready for it or could take it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really hard pill to swallow to know that you're that lucky. Some people are like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. That's messed up that you feel that way. It's not messed up. It's reality of it. Here I am at the end of the year. It's not even a year yet, and I'm feeling great. I'm looking great, and I still see what's going on around me, and it hasn't changed. And I try and stay positive when I talk to people to give them an encouragement that everything's going to be all right. There's always a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
You have to weather the storm to get to that sunshine. Mm-hmm. And I truly mean it, but I also know that some people, the sunshine's not there.
Right.
But they have to find a reason to smile every day, and I can't give them that reason more than I'm trying to let them know that it can happen.
It's hard when we have to go through such life-threatening circumstances to not sweat the small stuff, or to appreciate the little things, or to not take things so seriously. Because, so a lot of people that have terminal illness or chronic illness or things where their time is limited or freedom taken from them or whatever, have learned that it's okay to take things slower and to appreciate the little things in life. But it's weird that we have to get to that point in order to see life like that. It's, maybe hopefully people listening to your story will learn to just appreciate what they do have, and to, forgive easier, or let things go easier, or,
Yes. And I tell everybody when I speak, I said, make today great. Make somebody smile that you don't even know. Make them smile. Change somebody's day today. And I think that's that's just very important for mental health and just to live your life